Hey everyone, Corey here coming in to do the weekend energy update for the very last weekend, the very last few days in August and moving into the beginning of September. We have a lot that is feeling very energized today. So it feels like an energizer bunny kind of energy. You may feeling that sense of go get this done, go do this, go do that, rush this, rush that. And you may be feeling that panic. It is a beautiful time in this energy to get things done or to enjoy yourself. But what we're really being told in this energy is I see a lot of dancing about. And so there is a dancing of color I see. So there's like something to celebrate or things to celebrate. But in the same breath, we also have the same thing. It's been the theme all year, right? It's like that unexpected, expecting the unexpected, and we're seeing the unexpected things unfold, but every day has the unexpected. But what's really coming up for me and what I'm getting with this is as we move in, as we move into the beginning of September, if there's any way to extend your holidays, extend your holidays. Whatever it is that, you know, if you can take an extra day, take an extra day. There's a lot of things that probably, if you were planning on doing them in the first week, if there's any way of postponing until the following week, or the universe may postpone them for you. So you may find, you know, if you were going to be launching something or putting out a proposal or signing a contract, and then something doesn't work out and you don't get it done between the 1st and the 7th, you know, the first or within the first week of September, is don't worry about it type of thing. The universe sometimes has your back in ways that you don't even know or you can't even imagine, but it is taking care of you. So you're being taken care of. So because you're being taken care of, let yourself be taken care of and just say thank you, and everything will unfold in the weeks to follow and the weeks to come. So you may find there being a bit of a delay by the universe, and the universe is here to sometimes work in our favor and to be able to work things out for us. Today has I feel this sense of almost like keep getting dizzy all day. Like something is spinning. Something feels spun up. Like it feels like I'm on like a spin top or something, and I'm being spun around. And so there is something happening in the energy. We're being tumbled. So something is spinning or tumbling or working its way through. And I keep getting dizzy today. And so I feel like it's like we're elevating or ascending, rising up. Something is like there is something that's contracting or expanding in the universe. That's the way I'm feeling it, seeing it. And so it is when we breakthroughs may happen. You may have aha moments today. You may finally be like kind of feeling that you're finally pulling the plug on some narrative, some story that's been that's had a hold of you for way too long. And it's like something's had a hold of us for way too long, and it's finally pulling the plug on it, finally letting it out, finally being done with it, finally setting it free and letting it go and letting it out. So the other thing, where am I? So this is not my normal space. This is my in-person space that I've been creating, and where I'm also working on my Paint Me Beautiful project that I did my copyright and stuff on last year, and that I've been painting. So working on that project and getting that project, and whatever that project is, I don't know what's going to be yet. I just listen. So this is my space. And so you may find yourself reorganizing, moving things around, looking for new space. It feels like it's that time of when, like in nature, in the wild, they're looking for their winter. If you're in the northern hemisphere, they're looking for their winter hibernation, their winter season to go into nesting. So there is a nesting stage. So if you're pregnant, you may be noticing you're in a nesting stage, and you may be trying to start to nest and get things organized and get things ready and want to get things done. So it is a real nesting stage that we're in, and we're really feeling that. And so I just seen the squirrel this morning just running around, wandering down the sidewalk and picking up all the little acorns and stuff, pine cones that were around and storing up. And And so you may find yourself running around and just feeling like I have to get things done now and things need to be done. I need to start preparing for something, preparing for winter, preparing for this, preparing for that. But give yourself a break and give yourself a breather, because, you know, we still have time. We rush things, and we are so programmed and conditioned to rush into anything. It's just like I always say, the school season starts, and the minute school season starts, it's like, well, there goes the sun. We might as well get out the sweaters and the Uggs in the end of August, even if it's 30 degrees, because, you know, it's school season, so that means fall is here, but fall is not here, right? It's that sense of it's habitual, it's habits, right? It is the habits that we have, but just because it's been a habit, it doesn't mean we can't change up the habits or break the habit. Doesn't mean that, you know, there's probably many things that's revealing itself that says maybe you don't need to do this today, maybe you don't have to be that today, maybe you don't have to rush that, this and that. And every year they bring this in because they kind of shake their heads at how habitual we are in the human world. And so in the human world, we're very habitual, and we have way more say, oh, I'm not programmed that way. I go with the flow. And no, most really don't. If you look at how conditioned we are to seasons and into what happens in those seasons and how it happens and how it's not organic. It is conditioning. It is programming. It is not organic at all. It is, if it was organic, we would probably look outside and just go, oh, look, it's still 30 degrees. So I can probably just prepare and take out all the clothing, but I don't have to wear it. I don't have to put my kid in their fall sweaters because it's 26 degrees. So I can leave their fall sweaters, and they'll be just fine going to school in their t-shirts and shorts for today because it's 25, 26 degrees. and we begin to condition our kids to be the same way. So it's we kind of get chuckled at. It's a bit humorous. We all do it. And so this is a really good time to really stop and pause and look at our habits, to look in at how we respond, how we react. The universe is always testing us. It's testing us to see if we're truly what we say we are. And so there is some revelations and revealings of, are we what we really say we are? Are we going to do what we say we're going to do? Are we going to be who we say we're going to be? Are we going to, are we going to show up for ourselves coming up? Who are we going to be? Who will we be when the worst of times reveals itself to us? Who will we be when we are thrown into the midst of something not working out the way that we want to work it out? And of course, we're being thrown a lot of fear stories right now. And there is a lot of fear stories coming in. And there's a lot of fear stories that speak, there is the talks. It's not a fear story. It's a talk about future of us being put into shutdown, lockdown, those type of things again. And nothing has really happened. But yesterday I had to go I always say I live in my little world here, but I had to go into Edmonton, and I had an appointment. And when I walked into the office, it was as if I just walked into like a whole nother world. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it was like all these masks, and all I could see was all these masks, and everybody was sitting in all these masks. And it just instantly, I could feel that feeling of urgency, of fear, and how that is manifested. And I'm just thinking, what is going on here? And why is there so much of this? And then within 10 minutes, it was like a whole new circle of people began to show up and come in, and that they weren't masked. And so then it was a room full of people without a mask. And then my doctor arrived, and he wasn't in no mask. But I just recognized habits, recognized fear, and how fear reveals itself, and how we are so led by those fear stories. And so I know I do predictions and I work in predictions, but I'm really trying to make sure that when I'm asking for the highest good, is that we can ask for the highest good that brings in the messages that help inspire us, to help us grow and evolve, but also being very aware of what's out there. And so we do have these predicaments of energy that are a repeat, like repeat offenders that show up in the energy. And when they do, they bring in a sense of uncertainty, but predictability, a level of darkness to it. So I keep seeing these flashes of darkness appearing, and these kind of dark days that keep appearing, and I keep seeing these dark days, these dark moments. So that, to me, that represents days and days to come. And so there is days to come. Now that could be so much as a disruption in human behavior. It can be a disruption in weather. It can be disruption in anything. So we are feeling some of this disturbance happening around, like being on a plane and you hit the turbulence, right? So there is some turbulent energy. And if it feels like a clear, clean day, it feels good today, the energy feels good. But then over here, it's like just when the pilot comes on and says, prepare for turbulent weather, and then, but you're like, oh, it's a smooth sailing, it's not going to come, but then it comes. So it has the possibility of making its appearance. So we have turbulent energy that is making its appearance. Now, I did speak on my last video, which is the monthly. I spoke about August the 22nd. So they're all linking together. So if you haven't watched August the 22nd, which still ties into now, and the September energy update and this one together, they all link together. It is just one melting pot of information that I'm channeling through. It speaks about the loss of, say, the matriarch or the hierarchy in the family, and how we, experiencing that experience. And I think it was on August the 22nd. That's when it was. I posted that one. And it's like that little center of the building blocks, the foundation of the building blocks of families, of organizations, those things kind of being taken out, like something happening, a loss, a change, a shift, but a breakdown. And so all of the foundation of all of the strength, not the foundation. The foundation's normally built, but all of the one piece that keeps everything else together. We're noticing and seeing the changes or the loss or those type of things around that, and really that's becoming very visible and very noticed. It's something in the way that I'm seeing it is like pulling the plug, and it's like, or pulling up the centerpiece, and everything else falls to piece, because everything is interconnected, everything is connected. So whatever is the connection is what it feels like. Something is being pulled that keeps everything together, and it changes everything. And so it's bringing in massive change. It's bringing in changes in family dynamics and the dynamics of family. It's bringing into change and dynamics in relationships. And it feels like if it's been going from like that 22nd, and it's going to be going all the way until like the end of September is what it feels like to me. I feel like I'm seeing this, or I'm seeing this as like just pulling up this plug and all these pieces crumble. I said it's like Legos is what it looks like. And it's just like these pieces fall apart. And it's not that it gets rebuilt. Everything kind of builds itself, but it's building from, right? It's building from a change, building from a loss, building from a change in direction, a move, whatever that is, but having to build new structures and build up again from specific situations or changes or times in our lives. So that's also still playing out in this energy that I'm picking up on this weekend's energy. Now, if I have, I'm going to say, if I have some of my beautiful mamas to be out there, and you are due, say, the mid-September type, like mid-September, I feel like some of you may end up be going early. There may be some earlier than expected deliveries coming in a little bit early, not coming on your time. So if you're the mama to be who is always so organized, always so put together, always trying to make sure everything is all planned, that things are not going to go as planned, that you may be receiving the early arrival, which is very out of character for Virgo. But that Virgo energy, that little child that's coming in to be Virgo, is figuring that this family, this mom needs me and I need to get there. And so there is an early arrival of, I see some early arrivals of Virgo babies that would have been arriving, say, the middle of the month to the 20th of the month, or if they were due on a cusp. So if these babies were due on a cusp, going from Virgo into Libra, is that you will see, it's like, I'm not going to be a Libra. I'm going to be a Virgo. And so I'm going to control this myself. I'm going to take care of this myself. And so there's early arrivals, and the early arrivals are coming for a reason. I feel they're arriving for a reason. They're arriving prior to some of the other big aspects that are happening, so that their energy is as big and bold and charged as it needs to be for who that little soul needs to be when they arrive. So I do see some early arrivals. And now, so bringing it from just, babies into life, is that you may see things arriving sooner than you thought. So if you've been making a plan or trying to do things, you may see things arriving earlier, like your plane. If you're going somewhere, your planes may be arriving sooner. Things are coming in sooner than, so it could, because of this sped up energy. I feel like things are being pushed out and pushed in. It's like productivity, right? It's like, got to get things done now, so we're just pushing it through. So because we're pushing things through, we may also see that on a bigger scale, on a government scale or somewhere like that, that things are getting kind of slipped through and pushed through. It's like, oh, we got to push that through before anyone notices, before anyone sees. So there is some sinister that also plays out with that, and kind of pushing something through, so we got something done sooner, or without people noticing. While people are busy doing this, we'll push something through. So there is something being pushed through, which can then also kind of throw things off or disrupt the hornet's nest. I feel like there is a disruption in the hornet's nest as well. There's a sting and a bite that comes with that, not in the new mommy thing, but in the political part of it, or on a world scale. On a world scale, there is some real bite to that as well. This weekend is so much, but so little. There could be, like I said, there's a lot of squawking. There's a lot of squawking outside of my house. So I'm like listening to these crows out there being little messengers. There's a lot of things that are squeaky. I feel things are really squeaky. I have this conflicting energy, and I've been trying to know where to place it, because I'm like, this weekend is supposed to be, it feels so good, but there is something in this energy that keeps coming in as fiery red to me. And it's like an inflammation. It's almost like the world having a heart attack. It's what it feels like. It feels very heart-centered. It feels very explosive. So it could be very hard on the heart. It could be heart issues. It could definitely be something to do with heart issues. I'm not sure. I definitely have something with heart issues. I don't know I'm not sure exactly where that's coming from. I'm asking, but so I don't know if we're going to see like some sort of like explosive energy, or explosive on a world scale. I don't know what that is, but it's not early in the weekend. It feels closer to the end. But this is a good time for fun. It's also a good time for organizing and creating a little bit of structure in our lives, but also remembering to have fun. So balance. So bringing in balance. And this over here is still talking to me. And I'm just like, where's it? What do you need to tell me? What do you need me to know? There is something big on its way. I keep seeing like an explosion, like flames or red, and I want to turn it heat. I feel the heat. I feel the heat of it. It got heat to it. And so I don't know if that's volcanic energy. and or an explosion of some sort, like something being something exploding or something being exploded, something is or something breaking down. I just want to move away from it. I feel myself want to move from it. So it could be something of um, tempers flaring. So be aware of not to get involved in an argument this weekend, especially closer to the Saturday evening all the way to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like explosive, like heated arguments, things that can, you know, be destructive to your own psyche or be destructive into your own your own healthy relationships that are for the most part healthy, because it feels as if this is coming in a kind of sinister kind of way. It can be like that hornet's nest, right? It's like, be careful of that disruptive energy, or the sense of tempers rising, and really letting anger speak, the explosion of finally, like, people busting out what they've been holding on to for years and having to get it out. It could happen in a family gathering, it could happen anywhere like that. Whatever that is, it is just kind of coming in and say, heed me, heed me, heed me, heed me, heed this kind of warning that the energy is there. It doesn't mean it will come of it, but the energy is there. We have the perfect storm energy, right? So we have this beautiful energy here, but we have the perfect storm energy. So there is the perfect storm energy that could be, it could lead to violent acts, right? So there could be violent acts. It could be violent thoughts in our own head that maybe speaking out of context, hurting somebody else's feelings, or somebody hurting your feelings intentionally, unintentionally. Sometimes that happens when there's parties and gatherings and families come together, and it just kind of like everything comes out, everything spills out. But the energy is there for it. So, sometimes we have to remember, often we're being tested. And so the things that are testing us is checking to see how we're going to react, how we're going to respond, how we show up in those experiences matters. And with all that we have learned, all that we have gained, we want to remember to keep intact our own sense of self, that you work too hard, that you don't want to destroy it again. You don't want to be left with after the karma of, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I behave that way? Why did I speak that way? And so it is there. The energy is there. So if you're feeling like you're in a real shitty mood and you feel like you don't want to go somewhere, you feel like, but people are pushing you to go, probably don't go. Maybe it's best to clean your closet than it is for you to go somewhere where everything in your body is saying, it doesn't feel right for me to be there, it doesn't feel right to go. So don't go. That's what they're telling you. So we have the arrival. We have arrivals. So it could be the arrival of a new relationship. It could be if you're singles, where you finally meet somebody. If you have recently met somebody, you maybe find yourself going on the next dates. You may find yourself really getting to, that you're letting yourself go and enjoy it and embrace it and have fun with it. Don't think about whether or not it's your future husband. Stay in the moment of the experience and let yourself experience the experience of enjoying somebody else's company, going on dates. Don't think about, it's not about the marriage. It's not about if they're your husband or your wife, or if they're there for the next 10 years or 20 years. We're not that far ahead. You're in the moment. So stay in the moment, and whatever you're doing this weekend, be present with everything that you're in, and be aware of how you show up. Be aware of your own thoughts, but also recognizing that every experience, every moment that we're in is sometimes some of those experiences testing us to see who we are in those experiences, how we show up, how we respond, how we react. And yeah, so there may be some big moves and big changes happening, but sometimes it's preparing but not rushing out. The second week in September will be the more of the kind of making things happen and things going. But for some, it is like a last chance, a last experience, a last chance, a last opportunity, a last moment to kind of do something that you have been either wanting to do or wishing to do or hoping to do, and maybe something that you have put on the back burner, maybe feeling as if it wasn't coming, or that something was never going to show up for you. And it's, and here's a sense of hope. There's a spark. There's a sense of, there's a spark and a hope and something that's reigniting something. So somebody from the past may also be coming back into some of your lives, where past relationships or past opportunities you thought you missed out on, you may find they're returning and coming back in. And it's like, it's reigniting a flame, a spark, a connection. And so there's connections being made, there's something being ignited, and that could be with your own soul, it could be with the universe, it could be with your future, whatever that may be. But there's something that is plugging us in and connecting us to something even bigger, something beautiful, and it may be something very unexpected. I send you so much love this weekend. Stay safe, be aware, enjoy, have fun, dance, celebrate, and celebrate you, whatever it may be. Celebrate life, but don't take it too serious. And remember, these are to be taken as entertainment, and so we never know. And it's a collective energy, and it's what's happening out there. We feel it inside of us. It doesn't mean it's all coming to life. It's the possibility of these things are here. If you're in Newfoundland, I will be coming to Newfoundland I'm coming back to Newfoundland in October, and I've listed a show and a workshop in Grand Falls. I have a mediumship event in Corner Brook, one in Gander, and I will be announcing one in St. John's next week. I was just trying to decide whether or not, or the dates I would be there for the location that I really want to use, and if I can make it all work. So the St. John's event I will have listed, but that's the plan. I'm going to courageously head to 4 different locations in a matter of 2 weeks while I'm in Newfoundland. I'm coming for the sole purpose to come to work in Newfoundland. And then also there is an event here in Lacombe, Alberta, coming up as well. And then online in the More Than Existing online academy that we have, that there is I have a new program that's being a 4-week masterclass online, and that is The Way of the Mystic. And I'm so looking forward to bringing that one home and bringing it back into the academy. There's a big story behind that one, and I'm bringing it back to where it belongs. It's coming home to the More Than Existing Academy. And and so you can go to my website. All the information's there. All the tickets are all on Eventbrite, except for the Way of the Mystic. That one is on my website or on the morethanexistingacademy.ca. All the information is below that you can get directly to my website, and you can also there see my books that are available and the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. Have a beautiful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Much love. Bye-bye.